Hello Doraemons, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I have the 28th February. I know it is late, sorry, my voice was not clear until yesterday. Today it was a little better, so I thought of shooting this video and uploading it for you guys. And I'm extremely sorry for this getting so late. And yeah, and even more delaying would be more waste. And it is also important for you guys to get the 7th March IRA solutions. So I thought of uploading this first, and in the next videos you'll be getting Python, Java and the UNIX solution. So let's get started without further ado. And yeah, this is a pretty easy question. Like, if you have been practicing from my videos, it is the most easiest question in Java. So let's get started. So what they have given is, they have given the music set question, and they have given the objects which will be in a single object. For in a single object, how many parameters we are going to get? We are going to get a playlist number, type, count and duration minutes. And they told us to create two methods. One is find average of count method, and another one is sort type by duration method. So what this find average of count method will do is, this method will find out average of count of those objects whose count is more than the given T seller's count. So as it is mentioned over here, there will be one parameter called as count. We have to find the average of counts which is greater than the count value which is passed over here. As it is 15, here it should be like 30, and if 20, it should be greater than 15. Everything which has count greater than 15, we should add that count values and take the average of it. So that is the scenario for first function. And let's look into the second function. So for the second function, we have to return an array of music objects in an ascending order of the duration, which is more than the given duration. Again, in the question they have given one duration which is 20.0, and we have to arrange these music albums in ascending order based on their duration. Like, it is given as 50.60, 55.500 and 78.89. So it should be greater than 20.0, and we should arrange this in the ascending order based on the duration. So yeah, I hope you guys got what we should actually do. So yeah, as we code, we'll know what is going to be there. So as of now, we got two ideas. There will be 4 parameters, which is the ID, name, count and the duration. And we are going to get 4 sets of these object structure, and then we'll get a count, and also we have a duration. So based on that, we have to print the average of the album's count, and we have to print the music album names based on the ascending order, which is greater than this 20.0. And if none of these cases existed, so that is also mentioned here. For find average of count method, the main method should print the average if the value returned is not 0. If it is returned as 0, then we should print like no playlist found. And for the sort by duration, we are going to so if there is no album with a duration greater than the given duration, then we are going to print like no playlist found with the mentioned attribute. So my voice is cracking a little bit, sorry for that. It is not still good, so I hope you guys have to bear a little with me. I'll make sure this crack will not be over the entire video. So let's get started. So hereafter I'm going to be typing, so there will be no importance for my voice anymore. You're going to mainly focus on the question, and let's get started. So you will have this entire thing, the main class and main function. So first thing is to create an object class. So we are not going to use anyway the names which is mentioned in the question. We are always a little different. So let's first create the object class, and inside it we are going to just basically define this thing which is given over here, which is this. So we are going to define the ID first, so we can take it as even number 2. So it is going to be of type integer, so int num, no, and we are going to get a type which is of types string. So let's do that, and I'm going to give it as type, and we are going to get the count again. So it is going to be int count. So next thing is duration in minutes, and it is of type double. So I'm going to declare a variable with a double, and I'm going to just name it as D. And after this, you all know it is going to be pretty more simple. We are going to declare one more function with the same name of the class, and we are going to pass this entire thing over in this place. As always, we know the function has this curly braces. So inside this round brackets, I'm going to put int num and string type and int count and double D. Okay, so now in this we are going to do this dot number, this dot same thing. So let's do it as how we do in Python, the same thing. And don't forget the semicolon, as this is not Python, it's Java. This dot type is going to be type. Make sure you use the same variable name so that you won't get confused in between. This dot count is equal to count, and last one, this dot D is going to be D. And yeah, here there is a spelling mistake. So now this phase is done. So now we can forget about this object once you declare it everything. So now all the thing is going to be in the main part. So let's get it in the main part. So first off, we have to declare a scanner variable. If you guys are aware of Java, you know about the scanner variable. If not, I'll say scanner is a variable like which scans your input, and Java mostly uses this. That's why Java is considered as an hard language to learn. But when you understand the concepts, it's going to be pretty simple. It is mostly a structure-based programming language, so we have to maintain the structure for real. Okay, so after this, we are going to declare an object class. An object. So how we usually declare in Python, like that, we are going to declare an object class and pass those things to this object class, and we are going to get it in a form of object structures. So I think you guys know about how to create an object. If not, just learn it. We are going to put the class name, which is object, over here, and then we are going to put the array thing. How basically you define an array, the same thing, and we are going to name it as O and new object. Whatever name you give in over here, we are going to use it over here. And yeah, so we are going to almost get 4 set like this. So I'm just declaring it as 4. And as usual, how we are going to get inputs to your array, same thing we are going to do. Int I is equal to 0, I less than 4, and I plus plus, same thing. And after this, we are going to get the inputs correctly. So let's do that, and you guys know about getting the input, I guess. So we are going to again int num is equal to s dot, as it is an integer, you should put next int, and after that you should put go to next line. So why in the sense, as you can see in the sample input and output, after getting integer, it should go to the next line to get the next input. So we should manually make it to go to the next line. So for that, after getting it as int, we are going to use yes dot next line. And like this, we are going to get all other things. The next one is string of type, and here we'll be using next line only. So yeah, and after that we are going to get count. So it is int count, same thing how it is written over here. So I'm just going to copy paste it, and last thing is double. So you guys know about there is float and also double. I would prefer you use double everywhere, because double has the same set and you don't get confused. It has a lot of space. Even a large number with a floating point is passed, it can handle with it. So instead of using float, you can go with double, and it is more effective than float. So let's do that. And yeah, here I'm going to just type in the name as D and yes dot next double. again next, double make sure it is in capital. And there is one more thing you have to notice in Java is you have to use somewhere capitals and somewhere like smalls. And yeah, now it is done. Now we have to pass this entire thing to this object list. Let's do that. So we are going to put just O of I. As usual, how you will pass an array. Instead, here we are going to put new object, and we are going to only pass the names, which is num, type, count, and d. So num, type, and count, and d. So now our object list is ready. Now we have to get the two more inputs, which is the count and a duration. So let's do that quickly, and let's get out of this for loop. After this, we are going to get count, which I'm going to put it as int c is equal to s dot next int, as it is an integer. And we are going to get the next input in the next line. So let's put next line. Oops, don't forget the yes and also the semicolon. And after this, we are going to get the duration. So it is double, and for duration, what can I give the name? I'll give it as r is equal to yes dot next double, and right over there, and put the colons, and it's again x dot next. If I think here the next line is not needed, because it don't have to go to the next line after getting this. This is the end of the output, and if you specify it, you will get an error. So if you have typed next in and it's showing an error, it will specify the line number. So if you have given in the end, you have given like next line, it is going to show you an error. So make sure you don't do it. I think now we have got all the inputs. Let's pass the input. And this question, if you want to practice, it will be available in my blog post. I think the blog post is getting updated day to day. So you will be getting every question in the blog post so that you can practice over the things. So before watching this video, please go and practice. And if you can't find the solution, or if you are learning new, then you can watch this video for any clarity or something. So here already I've made an error. Here I should put capital S. Okay, so yeah, your program did not output anything, which means there is no error. And let's get into our two functions. So basically we have to create two functions, one for average count and one is for sorting by duration type. So let's do the count first. So I'm going to declare a variable int average, and I'm going to pass it to a function. Like I'm going to name it as fun1. I'll not usually name as how it is given over there. It is, can you see, it's like 5 words and I have to type it everywhere when I call it. I don't know, I'm not doing it. So let's pass the object array and see only the count. And here we have to declare like if average is greater than 0, then we should print the do average, which is passed over there. So here I'm going to put system dot out dot println. Oops, yeah, learn this also. If you just put println, it will show the entire line. And here I'm going to just put the average, and if not, in the else part we're going to put like no playlist found. So let's try println. Ooh, no guys, it didn't give it println, so we have to put like system dot out dot println. Yeah, and in this I'm going to pass like no playlist found. So I think that is what they have given right here, no playlist found, and let's pass it. Done. Now let's declare this fun1. So make sure every function should be declared within this main class, so not to get confused. If you click on that, you will know which is the bracket, and just above this, go out of it and create one more function. So the function is going to be public static int fun1, and here I'm going to pass like, here I've given like just O and C, but here you have to pass the structure, which is object of O, and here also you should give like int C, and inside this we are going to declare one variable like total, and which is going to be 0, and one more variable which stores the, as we have to find the average, we have to count how many numbers are getting added and how many numbers are greater than 15. So for that I'm going to declare a variable called v and also give it to 0. Now let's iterate through the object list. So for int I equals to 0, so it's right here, and I less than 4 and I plus plus. I don't know how many of you guys solved the last 7th March Java question, because it was more similar to the last question which I solved. It has been asked the third minimum value. In the first one was slightly different. If you are like practicing in Java, you might have known it. And the third minimum thing is exactly as shown in our videos. So please make sure you watch the videos before exam. You may get questions like this, and you may have a chance to clear at least 2 to 3 cases. So if you clear 2 to 3 cases, you may get 30 out of 40 and your IRA is cracked. So yeah, enough of talking. So let's go to the check. So here I have to check if O of I dot count is greater than C, which is passed over here, and if S, we have to add it to the total. So total plus equal to O of I dot count, and also we have to increment V by 1 to divide it. So we need to put V plus 1 is plus equal to 1, and now as you know, every function should return a value in Java. So make sure you put return total. So we are going to return the average, and in between I'm going to give here like, after the for loop I'm going to give it like, and make sure dividing by 0 is not permitted. So if you give like v is v equal to 0, and if this loop doesn't run, if there is no album with count greater than the given count, then you will be facing an error. So here itself, if v is greater than 0, then only divide the total. So total is equal to total divide by v. Yes, so now it should print some value. Let's check it out. Yes, we got the first output, which is 25, and the second one will go through it. The first one is done, one down, one more to go. So let's do the second one. The second one is we are going to find first the things which is greater than the duration parsed. So let's do that. Here itself I'm going to declare one more function inside the main function, which is, I'm going to name it as, let's give it a name, int k is equal to, I'm going to give it as fun2 and pass the object and the duration. So here I've got the duration in the name of r. Okay, and I'll just close it over here. Now out of this, make sure this is closed, and inside the main class you have to create one more function, which is public static. And you might have guys have confused about what is static. If you guys don't know it, I'll explain what is static. So static is nothing but it creates a common storage for all the values which is stored over here, and because if it is getting stored in different places, it accesses it like it takes a lot of time to access it. But when you declare it as static, it is stored in a single place or continuous place. A common storage is created only for this function, so it is easy for it to fetch the values and perform it easily. So if you guys don't know it, just learn it. And with this interesting information, let's code us. And here I'm going to pass int of Now I have passed the object and int r. Let's iterate through the loop. So I think here also we have to create one variable called as I don't think we have to create a variable. I think we need to create an array over here. So we have to pass the durations which is greater than the given duration, and we have to arrange it in ascending order. So let's do that. I'm going to create one array. If you guys know how to create an array, that's super fine. And it's going to be a double array. It's not going to be an int array, it's going to be a double array, as the values passed is going to be double. And I'm going to name it as d, and new d is new double. As we already know, there is only 4 values. If you want, you can create an empty one too, but it is usually fine to create 4, and there is no value which 0 duration is going to be. So if another one in the 4th place 0 is getting created too, it is not going to cause you any problem. So let's iterate through the list. So for int I is equal to 0 and I less than 4 and I plus plus. Got used to this I plus plus dialog because I like it I plus plus. Okay, so now we have to check like if O of I dot D is greater than the past R, and if yes, we are going to add it to the array. So how we'll add it to the array? As usual, D of I is going to be O of I dot D. I think it's the same name which is again popping out, so I'm just going to change this one. What can we change it to? Duration array. Let's change it into an array so we don't get confused. We'll put it into ARR. Yes, so now this array will have all the durations which is greater than the past duration. So let's do the for, let's print and see system dot, oh I don't like it, dot print ln, and here if you just put array it will not work, so we have to again iterate a loop. So let's print one thing like this. Let's see whether it is getting printed. Oh, and with the semicolon. Now let's run it, and there is one error. What is the error? What is this one right here? There is an extra bracket, I guess. Now let's run it. O of R, O comma R, it should be correct. Until O of R, we didn't return anything, so we have to return it real quick. So let's return 1 to it. So this is what I say, if you declare a function in Java, it should return some value. Some message have been simplified. Recompile with this is different. What? Let's see what is more. So here I've got it in the name of, oh, here it is not inter, it's double array. Make sure you give it correct. So that's the mismatch. Ooh, I've changed in the wrong place. So in C is going to be int, and below this only it's going to be double. The OR is double. And run it. Yes. So now we have 50.06, which is the duration of music name called Childhood Jams. Okay, so now let's sort the array. You know how to sort the array, guys. So it's arrays dot sort of ARR. That's it. So now we are going to again iterate through the loop, and we are going to find the durations and print the names. As simple as that. So let's do that. So for, I hope you guys learned something from this mistake that I made. Int I is going to be 0 and less than 4 and I plus plus, and I'm going to just put it inside it. And also this is for iterating through the ARR. To iterate through the object list, we have to create one more for. So let's do that also. So for int, I'm going to name it as j equal to 0 and j less than 4 and j plus plus. And inside this, let's put one more thing. And after this, we have to compare it with the durations. So I'm going to put one more if statement. So if ARR of I is equal to O of j dot duration, then it should print the name. So it is O of j dot, so it is the name is given in the place of type. So now let's run and see it. Ooh, there are 2 errors. What is the error? This is for 4 and here in open it. Okay, now it should run. Correct. So we got the exact output. And what else? So one more part is also done. This playlist found is done. So here we have to again check for no playlist, that option. If the duration is so much high, we have to put it like no playlist found with mentioned attribute. So that should also be done. Let's do that quickly. So I think I can leave it to you guys so that you can analyze this code and check where you can put this. But you're going to beat me? Okay, so I'll itself do that. So what I'm going to do in this part is, here while adding the array itself, you may know if the array is empty or not. Only if the array is there, these sort function, everything will work. So if the array is empty, then it's going to be totally waste. So I think what I can do over here is, here itself I'm going to put like if the array length is greater than or something, or you can declare a variable which is more simple. So int b is equal to 0, and here every time it finds it equal to, and also with adding we are going to put it like +1, and this whole thing should be executed if b is greater than 0. If not, then else we are going to just put the same thing, print, I know you guys, it's going to be system system dot out dot println, and put it like no playlist found with mentioned attribute, and boom, everything is done. So let's increase the things and see. I'm going to put it as 5000 and run. We got no playlist found, and here I'm going to put like 90. Now run it. Our exact output, which should be 50. Anyway, it works fine. So that's it for this video. How was this question? If you guys liked it, please make sure you subscribe to my channel and click on the like button down below. And I'm so happy, like, we are going to reach 500 subscribers, and thank you so much for you guys, for your love and support. And I've been working on it for so hard, and it is giving fruits. I'm so happy. And I heard some of you have cleared your IRAs based on my videos. I'm so happy to know that. Keep learning and keep rocking. So that's it for this video. This is your very own code Doraemon signing off. Kudos.